Aloha, aloha, and welcome in. Kapualani here with your weekly guidance. So these readings are timeless. So whenever you should see them, just always take what resonates, leave the rest behind. But we're going to go ahead and open up space. During this time, I invite you to take a moment to connect to your breath. Maybe close your eyes if you would like. Taking a deep inhalation for a count of four, holding it at the top for a count of four, exhaling, releasing fully and completely through the mouth with a ha or a sigh. And I invite you to take 3 to 4 of those deep, soothing, cleansing breaths, just a little nervous system reset and an opportunity to set some intentions, to call in your guide, your higher self, and to give thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to yourself, to each other for being here now. All right, let's go ahead and open up space here. All right, so we are in the thick of the eclipse season. And I feel like, I don't know about you, but it's been, I don't, here's the funny thing. Isn't it always a little bit weird? I mean, I can't say always, but lately, with the planetary alignments and all that we've been moving through as a collective, it's been different. It's been quite intense. Even though, how should I put this? On a manifestation level, on a mundane level, on a surface level, it can seem like everything's fine. There's really nothing wrong. But in the underbelly, the undercurrent, and in the on a nervous system level, on a stress level, on an anxiety level, it's been really interesting. It's been really weird. And if you've been doing great and no problems whatsoever, amazing. And I'm not saying that there's necessarily problems. I'm saying that for those who are, pretty dialed in, or at least very sensitive, highly sensitive, which if you're watching this, it's very likely that you are. Um, the energy has been a little weird. So let's see what's coming through. Let's see what's coming up. Let's see what the energy is like for us and what guidance is coming through from spirit at this time. And so if there are any intentions or goals that you have, that you'd like to set, or that you have already set in advance. And it's interesting, I see 1111 on my clock here. Thank you, Spirit, for that. Angel number is 1111. So we're on to something here. But Spirit, what's coming up at this time? What are the energies that are currently surrounding the collective here, the sun? I'm getting the word exposure. I'm getting the words also, yes, the sun is a card. It is an energy of new beginnings, right? The sun is a card of new beginnings. And I'm getting this energy of things being revealed. I'm getting this energy of almost fresh starts, but very much so this feeling of life force energy that is really permeating and trying to come through. So I feel that there should be, like I said, like for whatever, the sun is the most positive card, right, in the tarot. So if you were wondering if something is going well, or if it's going to go well, then we got to see what the other cards say here. But the sun card is pretty validating. Okay, but again, I get the sun being like, nothing hidden under the sun. And so with that being said, right, even if you've been dealing with your trauma and you've dealt with your trauma, even if it's like, what is that saying, leave no stone left unturned, kind of a thing. That's the feeling that I get when I say the word exposure. It just means that it's almost like going through everything with a fine tooth comb. And that's the nature of the message that I was receiving earlier when I said, things are a little bit weird, a little bit intense, because we're under this. And it's funny because this word came through in a private session. And so if you're watching this, this could be for you, my friend, client, who had this session with this word, but scrutinizing. So there's a lot energetically, and I can feel it as I tap in to the source energy, that we are under this kind of like spiritual scan, where it's like, all right, before you enter in, are you like are there any creepy crawly stuff? And if there are, we got to address this, we got to zap this, we have to transmute this. So there's a lot of this transmutation energy coming through. There's a lot of this, anything that has been hidden, from the self, anything that has not been addressed, that has not been dealt with. And maybe because you just haven't known, it could be repressed, suppressed things that are coming to surface. Could be that there's nothing going on at all, really. But this is a nervous system thing where the fight or flight reflexes are, being triggered right now. And so if you have found yourself going into old stories, or a lot of things coming up, memories, thoughts that you were like, man, I thought I was past this or whatnot, then this message is likely for you. Okay, so what is this sun revealing? What is it exposing? What is it bringing up? What is the light being shown on? What is this sunlight shining its rays upon? Yeah, look at that strength. So we've got double Leo energies here. So if you're a Leo, hey, kudos to you. This is, this is gonna make, maybe there is something here with a lot of the Leos here. But if you even have just like a Leo in your chart and you're not a sun sign Leo, but there you have a rising, you have a moon, you have a north node, things of that nature, or you have, two or more planets in Leo in your chart, there could be a lot of that sort of energy coming through for you. And so it's pushing us into this space of self discipline. It's pushing us into this space of not just staying strong, but really overcoming any of that nervous tension, any of the anxiousness, because strength, right? It's when we really got to just hunker down and get past frustrating moments, right? It's when we're kind of taming that inner beast, you know. And so if you had feelings of fight or flight, like I think I said that earlier, this is where it's like, okay, that mind energy, the mental, the figure eight hovering above the crown is to remind you, like the sun, of your connection to source. You are blessed by source. Your crown chakra is receiving a lot of downloads right now, mind, body, and soul on a cellular level, all of the chakras, but especially that crown chakra. A lot of what we knew as a collective, a lot of what you have known individually from your life's experiences, there's a whole reset. Like the reset button has been hit. And not just that, but there's a massive reprogramming happening, right? It's massive reprogramming. And so, Spirit, what is the guidance here? What is the message? What is the guidance? What wants to come through? Oh my gosh, look at these majors showing up. The magician. There's a lot of this energy of self empowerment. So, the free will chakra, the solar plexus, very much getting those activations. You got Gemini, Virgo with the magician energy. So, there's, it's interesting. I think we also have a Virgo new moon, lunar eclipse coming up around the corner, because as I'm recording this, this is going to be the week leading up to, or days leading up to, the new moon. And so it's about that self-empowerment. And look again with that figure eight. So you are connected to spirit. You are receiving activations and downloads. And if you're feeling some kind of a frustration or an anxiousness or an urgency, this is that time to channel and streamline those energies. This is a time to start to get organized. This is a time to strategize. And this is that time to start to put things into action as best as you can, one foot in front of the other, right? That magician, alchemy, has the ability to create something out of nothing, seemingly, right? A master of the elements. And so this is also a time to, just sort of fine tune where your strengths are versus your weaknesses, for example, and to pull onto those, where there is healing that is needed, that is necessary in order to get to XYZ or whatever it might be, to manifest whatever. Okay, this may be that time for that. All right, so now, what is it what is it that this magician's message, collaborations, okay, things starting to come together and to solidify in the physical. All right, there's progress that's being made. Things are starting to take shape and to take form. The right people, places, and experiences should start to show up on your path, or at least you should be getting clear of the type of support that you're ready to receive, you're ready to connect with, to call in. Okay. But like I said earlier, it's that time to put things together, plan, strategize, and take the aligned, inspired action accordingly, right? Gather your resources, and not just that, but really acknowledge things are starting to come together again, taking shape, taking form. Are we alone in this, spirit? Are we? So this is going to be an individual endeavor, but I do feel that there could be other players at hand in terms of, again, just help, helping hands, or at least resources, skills and resources that you have, that you're putting together for a bigger picture plan. I feel like this may deal a lot with soulpreneurs, entrepreneurs, people, or at least trying to become more financially and professionally independent. All right. So if this sounds like you, then for sure, like just kind of tune in and listen in a little bit. There's something going on with you being blessed um, by ability. Focus on the practical. Something, again, you may be contemplating in terms of your future and future endeavors. So this is giving me the sense that this is a time to really reflect on, again, strategizing, planning, taking the aligned, inspired actions in the here and now. There may be bigger picture pieces that you would like to be stepping into, but this is a time to start to build up to that, right? In order, if there's a big gap, between the castle, there's what is it called? A moat or something, and then land on the other side. You need a bridge to get to the other side, right? And so this Queen of Pentacles put you in a really solid position in terms of ability to make something happen, put you in a position to think about your future stability, future security, whatever it is that you're building on, or that you're at least wanting to build upon, is something that's going to secure your future and future generations. All right. I feel that this really does have an emphasis on prioritizing also your health and your wealth, prioritizing those things first and foremost from the ground up. So taking care of things from the inside out, taking care of things from the ground up, and not seeking or reaching outside of yourself. Okay, unless it's necessary, unless that's where you're at. It's about being present to here and now, and again, prioritizing what needs to happen here and now in order to line up and to take those steps accordingly. Okay. So, what's coming through from all of this in this, eclipsing energy this week? Is there any timing for us to be aware of in terms of how long, like when things are going to unfold, Spirit? So, we got a couple. Wow, look at that. We got the moon and we got the Hierophant. Okay, I'm going to put it this way. I wasn't sure. I just feel like, nope, it goes this way. This had to be clear. Look, we have the sun and the moon here. So there may still be some elements hidden beyond your reach, not quite fully developed just yet. So this really leans into the practical side of things. We got Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio with this moon card. We got Taurus energy with the Hierophant. And we even have, with the Queen of Pentacles, the earth sign. So Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energies, okay? And we got Virgo full moon, and so this is about really harnessing things on a very practical level, hands on, okay? What you can see, hold, and touch, things that are tangible, right? And as you're maneuvering, so there is something of an elevation of the energies with the moon and the Hierophant showing up in terms of leaning into your gut, for example, connecting to the higher self. There may be, okay, while things are in a state of flux, if you're in a position where things are in a state of flux, or if things feel uncertain and you're not really sure where to place your focus, at the time, or where to align the steps, because things still need time to develop. Maybe you've come as far as you can with a project or with a goal, and now it's just about time and space doing its thing. Kind of like, okay, I put all the ingredients together for the cake, mixed it up, put it in that pan, popped the pan in the preheated oven. I got the timer on. So now it's just about waiting for the cake to finish baking. Okay, there's going to be, you may be anticipating some kind of feedback from an external source, from a higher authority. For example, if you're applying for something, if you're trying to get a loan, or if you're trying to get something approved, I feel like this could be a matter of putting, what I said, putting together a plan, a strategy, and blah blah blah. If this is about health, for example, it's sort of like, all right, I've got all my bases covered, but we still need to go for the check-in, we still need to wait for the results, something along those lines. Okay, I don't know why, but I'm getting the phrase also teachable moment. So there may be something, if we're going to go like just on a personal level here, this is about not rushing to conclusions. Don't jump to conclusions with anything when we see the moon. Again, this is about self navigating based on intuition and your gut. Okay, your instincts. There could be some fears that are getting dredged up. If there are areas where you're feeling a bit cloudy or uncertain, this is that time to seek advice from someone, an authority figure again, or a guide of some sort outside of yourself, even if it's just doing a search engine type thing where you're looking up info, you're looking up answers. um you can do, what is it called, the AI, the chat GPT or whatever. You can go ahead and do that as well, but this is, I feel, there's someone, an actual human being, that you can receive some guidance from. All right, so I'm going to shift gears in a moment here, but I actually want to remind us there will be a part 2 to this. I'm going to dive in deeper, just get some deeper insights, continue on in the journey here in terms of what's taking place. um Things need time to evolve. Things, whatever it is that you're planning on, there's something that may deal with the phases and cycles of the moon. It may deal with just timing of phases and cycles, not necessarily a 28-day cycle like with the moon, but there could be something here that you're having to sort of wait and allow for things to gestate, allow for things to come together. I kind of mentioned something earlier in terms of, this integration, I believe, that we're kind of waiting on, and it's really interesting. The sun's shining, and then we got that underbelly energy right there. So seek out the information. Don't just stay clueless, is another message that I'm getting. All right, don't just kind of sit there waiting and wondering. Seek out that guidance. Do the research. All right, that's going to help you to lock in not just those answers, but a sense of clarity and confidence. If again there are areas where you're just like, I don't really know, like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what to do, I'm a little bit freaked out about this, that, or the other thing. All right. Okay, so again, there's going to be a part 2 to this where we're going to get some insights from our animal spirit guides. I'm going to pull a card here and now for that. We're also going to be pulling from the angel oracles, yes no question. So if you have a yes no question you'd like to ask, bring that along to part 2. It's at kapualani.com/extensions. I'll leave a link in the description box below in the comments. It's a pay what you can. So I always recommend like $1.11 just for those angel numbers. But whatever speaks to you. I don't know what the minimum is for PayPal. I believe it's $1. But yeah, very little to no risk if you want to check that out. We're also going to be looking at the romance angels. So anything that you have, any questions you have for the angels, you can ask that in part 2. All right, but let's see. Animal spirits, animal spirit guides. Who has a message for us this week? Thank you. Okay, we got raccoon. Okay, so raccoon energy. I feel like there's mischievousness with raccoon. I feel like there's also there's a certain level of intelligence and genius. There's a sort of like, okay, yeah, they're like the thieves, right? So there's something about um I feel like doing things on the down low, being crafty, having to go about doing things. Like, for example, there may be something that you're having to do a little bit um low key, be low key about. Okay. um I feel like I'm thinking about this, leaning into this. moon energy, nighttime, nocturnal, although not that I haven't seen raccoons in the day, but just that whole energy. Bandits, that's another, I don't know why I'm thinking about that, but yeah, so actually be mindful of your belongings. Make sure that you have everything kind of squared away just in case. All right, just saying. Yeah, keep tab on your stuff just in case, just in case. All right, because there could be something there. I don't know, I could be wrong. And we'll look again at the book meaning of raccoon in part 2. But you know what, I'm gonna wrap up here and say thank you so much for joining me. Stay tuned also. I'm thinking about changing things up a little bit. And I don't want to speak too soon to get ahead of myself, but I also have been contemplating putting a few things together with meditations, a workbook or guidebook or something like that. So if you have any suggestions or any areas of interest, please go ahead and leave a comment. Email me info@kapualani.com if you're too shy to leave a comment. I'm always happy for suggestions and, constructive feedback, of course. So I just want to say thank you again for being here. I will see you in part 2.